to Channing Christian to Christian Houston, white couple murdered by the hands of black thugs, Pookie and Ray Ray, to Emmett Till, murdered, white thugs, rednecks, racists, bigots. Color does not subject automatically on how a person is going to be. It's the character that counts. What does white people have in common with black people? When it comes down to us, just hands, feet, all that. Common sense is that they're human beings. But it's the stigma and the history, the deep-rooted racist history behind them both, especially towards black people. And it's still existing today. That is what's breathing more hate, and it's taught. It's what some people are growing up around. It's what some people are being exposed to, what they're seeing, and the media is not making it any better. The media don't make it any better. Just like what I said from my last video on talking about and dealing with racist white coworkers. I brought up the ignorance on black neighbors, and I've had plenty of black coworkers as well. No matter where I went, no matter where you go, like I said, you could take a hood dude out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of Pookie. Like Pookie and Ray Ray could leave the hood, but you can't take the hood out of Pookie. That's the same thing for a white redneck. He's a farmer, he's ignorant, he don't like black people. If you take him out of the poverty and you place him in another area, if he still carries that same mentality and that same character, no matter where he goes, he's gonna still act the same. This is what Pookie and Ray Ray has in common, and what the racist redneck has in common. This is what they got in common. They're no better, but this is how it is in America. None of them is no better. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that I'm debunking the fact that there are people out there, and especially black people, who thinks that, all white people are the same, and there's black people that are black haters. I'm going to cover a video about that in the future. Self-hating black people. I was requested to cover that topic, and I do plan to. Okay? So, they're no better. And there's white people out there who hates themselves for being white because of the history. If you go on YouTube, there's actually videos of people who says things like, "Oh, I hate the way I was born. Like, I'm ashamed of being black, or I'm ashamed of being white." I came across so many videos of people who just hated themselves because of the dark, deep, racist history. Just because I went through all the trauma and experiences that I've went through with black people, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna say, "Oh, I hate myself for being black." No, because I already know that's just the bad apples. It's the same thing with white people. It's just that most of the racist encounters that I've had was from white people. I'm black. Like, it may not mean something to some people, but it means a lot to me from experience, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you couldn't understand. That's why I brought up Emmett Till. For any one of you who does not know who Emmett Till is, Emmett Till was a young brother, 14 years old, who was murdered at the hands of a few white men. I don't know if it was possibly more, but from what the information has posted online, 2 white men kidnapped him and murdered him because supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, Emmett Till whistled at one of the white men's wives. And this is what came down to his murder. Unfortunately, he died brutally. He died at a young age, and this happened many years ago. This was sometime in the 60s or the 50s. It was way back then. Way back then, during segregation, racism, down south. This happened in Mississippi. Any one of you want to look up the case? Look it up. The murder of Emmett Till. He made an impact to how racism truly affects black people. It's happening still till this day. It happened to me. Racism affected me in many cases. I've had evil stares, evil looks, and black people are no better. Like I said, it's very rare to come across black people, a black woman or a black man, brother or sister, that has a civil mind. And I've heard other comments from other black people saying things like, "Oh, she talks white." Or he acts white. Why do you have to associate white with a black person who just talks proper? Why does it have to be that way? It comes from a place of hate and ignorance. You don't know how many times I wanted to check people and check some people that said comments like that. And I've had comments from white people that would think things like, "Oh, I thought your wife was white," because the way I talk, it's the exact same way. See, a thug is a thug. And for any one of you who does not know, the word thug originated from India, if any one of you did not know that. Yes, the word thug originated from India. Didn't know that, right? Do your research. It's just that America has associated the term thug with black people. The media makes it worse by stereotyping black people and putting a lot of white people at a certain light. And there's some countries that actually thinks the exact same way. They like China, for example. I think it's Korea or China. It's one of those Asian countries. They believe that dark skin means that you're poor, or you work all day in the sun, and the lighter skinned people that are like that, they're rich and they always stay indoors. You see the stupidity and the ignorance behind that history? I've been harassed by black people before. I've been harassed by white people before. I've been stereotyped and not physically attacked, but verbally attacked by actions, words, body language, by Asians, Hispanics. I've had racist encounters by Hispanics too. I faced racism from all walks of life. It's just the most experiences that I've had with when it came down to racism was white people. The most hate that I've had was from black people. But at the exact same time, what do they have in common? What do they have in common? They both act like bums. The Poogies and Ray Rays. The Tyrones. The hood dudes. Same thing for the rednecks, hillbillies. They act the exact same way, but then they got hate for each other. There's hate for each other, and it don't lead anywhere, because when you fight fire with fire, it's only going to create a bigger problem. Now you got way more people at a global scale, especially because of the media, that stereotypes black people. You could blame the media for this. I completely get that, and I can completely understand, because the media sheds white people to be at a certain light where they're a savior, or they're gonna save the world, or they're superheroes, or they're God's gift to man. And they're human beings just like us. I blame the evil behind the media, the evil behind social media. Beauty standards has also been infected with racism. If you unplug yourself out from the social media, you look around you, you go out, right? You talk to people. What do you see? You see another man. You see another woman. See, I've been past the point to where it's not about this. It's about character, how you present yourself, how you walk, how you talk. Because in the end of the day, when it comes down to our jobs and making money, many places cares about your productivity. Some places that I've went to, the jobs in rundown towns like in the Johnson City, upstate New York, certain places that I've worked at, certain establishments, that's where I faced the most racism. I even faced racism down here. There was one time I applied for a job down south, South Carolina, right? And when I went to the job establishment, it was for a pizza shop. There was only nothing but white workers there, and I was when they first saw me, they were like, "Oh, you know how hurtful that was." They didn't expect another black male, a brother, to come in there. A black brother. They didn't expect me to come in there. They didn't expect me to be black. They probably were judging me off the application like, oh, his name is Daniel. He must be white. Face, language, body language lets you know right there firsthand when you meet somebody about how they feel about you. It's their demeanor. I've had a case a long time ago when I was like 17, 18 years old. I was minding my business. I was going to an event. I was in Manhattan, New York City. This is the time when I used to live in New York City. I was lost. There was a black male, like I said. I put two and two together and I think about it. Darker skin tone. Not that it matters to me. I don't care. I care about the person's character. Way darker than I was. He was hanging out around a group of white people. It was about 6 or 7 of them. He was the only brother there. They were all talking in a group. I was lost, and my stupid dumb behind self thought that, oh, he's another brother. Maybe he'll help me out. That's not the case. And I'm just going to say this. I didn't know any better. I was young. I didn't know any better. I always told myself, I just want to see the best in people. I just want to see the best in people. It's not what it looks like. I was delusional. I didn't want to believe it, but I seen it. He was the only black brother there in the group of around white people. I have no hate for anybody. I have no hate for white, Hispanic, Asian, Chinese, nobody. I don't got hate for nobody. All these experiences has just taught me to stay in my lane, mind my business, and don't put my full trust in nobody. That's what it taught me. Take people for how they are. The moment you show me that you want to act ignorant, you don't want to talk to me, you don't want nothing to do with me, I'm going to back up. Have a good one. Peace. It is what it is. I'm not going to do the back and forth. I'm not going to be like, oh, how come this person is treating me like this? I've been past that. Going back to the same case when I was lost in Manhattan, New York. I saw the black brother. He was the only brother, the only black male in the group of, it was like a group of white people. I think it was like 6, 7, 8 of them. It was a lot of them. I forgot the exact number, but it was between 5 to 7 of them. They were smiling, having a good time. It was at an event in Manhattan, right? And I came up to him. I'm like, hey man, excuse me. I poked him like that because he kept ignoring me. I already knew right there. It was like, okay, why is he ignoring me? Like I was trying to get the answer from him. I was like, maybe he can't feel me. Maybe he doesn't know that I'm there. So I raised my voice even higher and I did this. Excuse me, man. I really need help. I'm lost. The brother quickly turned around. True story, man. I got more stories than this. He quickly turned around. And it's not like he didn't turn around all the way. His body was like this. I poked him right here. No, it was the other shoulder, right? I poked him. I'm like, hey, man, I really need help. I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to find such and such. He stood there. He was like this. Please don't touch me. That was his reaction. That was his reaction. I backed up. I looked at him. All the other white people that were hanging out with him did not say one word. They didn't even check him. So they were all racist, just as much as he was. Because if they were for people, one of them would have checked him right there like, hey man, I didn't think that was cool. You didn't have to treat him like that. Let me help him out. Nope. They got quiet. They stood there and they didn't say not one thing. I looked at him. After he did that, he did not move once. When I said body language is important, pay attention to a person's actions. Pay attention to a person's character. How do they act towards you? The first 10, 20 seconds that they are first meeting you. Pay attention to that. That lets you know right there. This don't mean nothing. Most cases, this doesn't mean a lot. It's how you carry yourself. Many cases, it's also how you dress. Because let's just be real. If you dress a certain way, you talk a certain way, you act a certain way, people are going to put all those together and put you in that box. The only sad part is that black people and black brothers, black men like myself, including black women that are well educated, well spoken, we are still put in the box, even though we speak a certain way, act a certain way. We're still put in the box from other minorities, other backgrounds, other ethnicities that has a ignorant mindset. A lot of them hasn't been around black people long enough. A lot of them comes from a deep rooted racist history, the jealousy, ignorance. They don't know any better. They rarely been around black people. They never really associated with black people. Their parents or family is also racist, and they don't want their kids to be associated with black people. It is what it is. But this is what Pookie and Ray Ray and the rednecks got in common. Male or female, hate is hate. I believe we're all human beings, and I don't look at a person's race. I look at a person's character. Gotta debunk this. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say. This is Casual Talk here, guys. Feel free to comment down below. Peace out. Let me know what you think.